just her. So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like if something like this, I don't want her involved in this. Okay.
There may have been others, and so Nicole was the only one.
That was the only one.
Was there ever like a one-night stand with someone else just out of the blue and one and done?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more about Nicole?
Sure.
Okay, so walk me through it, because that was one of the things we never really got to ask you about.
Right. We
We just kind of skipped on and talked about where the girls were, but so what happened there?
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her. And it was just like a work conversation. She messed with the gas meters that, we were out in the field. And I was messing up. And then, I took it to her like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, how do I fix it? And, after that, we just ran into each other a few times in the office. And I think it was probably the fourth time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth, I would say, like we moved here from Colorado or from North Carolina and stuff like that. And then she's like, what's on this weed stuff? I'm like, I took out my phone and showed her a picture. Like, my girl's on the phone. It's like, oh, okay. Like, see, like, yeah. Like, I didn't wear a ring at work because like I said, I also get refitted. Like I lost all that weight. So, but
You lost so much weight that your fingers lost weight?
yeah, it was literally like I was out in the snow one time. I went like that. My ring went off on the rocks. So I was just like, I was panicking trying to find out like, man, where is it? But so after that, she left me alone for a couple days, and she texted me outside the field. And then after that, we just kept texting back and forth, and it was just just like like she used to work in a low rig out in North Dakota, I think. And we just kind of trading stories back and forth about what we did and everything. And then one day it just kind of went to a different level, and then I never thought it would ever go to that level. But she was talking about meeting up after we got back from San Diego.
Yeah.
We were in San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June. And we met up after we got back. And
How did you guys meet up?
at a park in Thornton. Thornton somewhere. And after that, we just kept seeing each other pretty much the whole month of July.
So let me ask you this. You tell me if I'm wrong. You strike me as somewhat of a shy person. So when you guys were meeting, was it just kind of very initiatory, like flirting at first? Okay. From both sides?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just kind of like feeling each other out. It was kind of like,
And so, texts, any calls?
more near the end of June.
Okay. And what makes you remember that it's June that it happened?
Because we called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right. At first, did you think something might happen?
I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen.
Yeah. Well, it's totally natural, right? I mean, everyone kind of flirts at work, right? Because relationship between men and women is different. So if you're working with a girl at work, it's just kind of natural to flirt. I get it.
I wish I was out in the field more instead of in the office. Those demo.
Yeah. Kind of see it in your eyes. That's kind of where the path started, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, because when I went from like a rover to a field coordinator, like I would spend more time in the morning time in the office trying to get everything like situated where we're going to go and everything like that. And, if I was a rover, I'd be more out in the field instead of like coming to the office like for more than an hour.
Right.
And just getting more time to run into her, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. What did she know about you? Did she know you were married at first?
She did once I showed her the pictures on the phone. Yeah, like, the home screen picture.
So was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girls?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married, my kids.
Okay.
Are you aware that she said she didn't know you were married? What did you think about that?
I figured it was like just trying to save face, trying to, I was just trying to. Something my sister said, it was like just trying to keep things together. Or just trying. She phrased it a different way, but just kind of like just like ground control, just trying to control everything that's going on around her. Because I'm sure she got bombarded by a all kinds of different sides from the media and everything. So, and
Have you talked to her at all? No.
I'm hoping she hasn't, like, you know, written me in a different alias or something. I'm not talking to her that way.
Oh. And are you not allowed to talk to her?
I would hope not.
Okay. No one told you that then?
No, I mean, I would expect, like, I thought, like, in Colorado it said, like, on the DOC list that if you're on, like, a victim list, you can't call anybody.
Oh, right.
But here, I'm not sure if that's the same. But I just talked to my sister, parents, some friends of my parents.
Okay.
Do you wish you could talk to her?
Maybe once, just to
get some closure?
Just to say, like, hey, you know, just once.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, like, I'm sorry this all happened. I'm sorry. I'm not sure, like, what happened, like, afterwards, like, what you went through, like, if you had, like, counseling, if you're, like, you know, different state, if you had to leave everything behind. I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry, and that's something I never saw in my life happening or happening to somebody else.
Would you be alright if we told her that?
That's fine.
Do you want us to? Do you want us not to?
And if she would want to even talk to you guys, then I'm not sure if someone contacted her. I'm sure she'd answer your phone call more than an attorney phone call that she didn't want to call. Answer. Yeah.
Oh, so your attorney tried to call her and she wouldn't answer?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember her phone number, but after that they figured out, I guess, where she lived. They left a business card there. And she just, pretty much after like the 5th attempt, she said stop going around.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's getting bombarded like everyone else, so.
Hopefully it's calmed down since, but I'm sure, like, I just hope she can, like, I'm not, there's, like, normalcy for her, since she's on the outside, but I'm hoping it can get that way at some point. I'm not sure if she had to leave Colorado or not, but I'm sure, like, that would have been hard if she did.
Mm-hmm.
I know that darker was her dream job, so that's one thing I always, like, asked my attorneys is, like, did she have to leave? Like, did she have to do anything at work? Because that was one thing, so she always told me that was her dream job, so.
Oh, really? What did she mean?
Like, like an oil company in the dark, I was like, you know, I mean, unless you're working for, like, BP or, like, Phillips or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And the dark, I was like, you know,
It's like big leagues.
yeah.
Okay. Can I ask kind of a tough question?
Yeah.
Did you love her?
I felt like it was true.
Yeah. I think so too. I think it was the same from her. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about the time you spent with her.
But, I mean, it felt like it was, you know, I think, like when you said, like, I was more like a shy guy, it's kind of like I've never, like, been pursued by anybody before. It's kind of like I was the one, you know, trying to pursue, because, like, when me and Shanann met, it was like, you know, she was always, like, pushing me away, kind of like, you know.
She was sick for a while, right?
She had just got diagnosed with lupus, and she was on, like, a bunch of different medications and stuff, and, it was, like, I guess I was not her type. And
you weren't her type?
I wasn't her type, because, like, she told me, like, when she first, because we had met.
She told you that? So then do you call her Nikki or Nicole?
I would call her Nikki.
Okay.
I know there's so many Nickis and Nicoles in this.
Right, there is.
I got confused.
So we'll call her Nikki.
Okay.
So then with Nikki, was it different?
It just seemed like I was more in control, it seemed like. And that never happened. Like, she'd actually, like, ask me, like my opinion on a lot of things, just, like, what I wanted to do, and just kind of, like, okay.
It was new, wasn't it?
Very new.
Oh, it's fascinating to me. And so did it feel more like an equal partnership, or?
It seemed like it.
Yeah. Okay. So then, when it was date night, would you guys talk about it? Would you ask to go somewhere, or would she say, I want to go somewhere? Was it too fast?
You know, the first time we went out, it was to a movie over at the Orchard, across the 144th over there, and, you know, I asked her, like, hey, you want to go see this movie? And, like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And when we got there, it was sold out, and, you know, normally you probably just have, you know, just wait 2 hours, like, not just go home, but now she just wanted to walk around and just talk. And, okay.
Oh, wow.
So that was different, and, you know, I think she wanted to go to the car museum, Shelby Museum in Boulder. I've never been there, and
That's right up your alley.
yeah, like I was just like, that was awesome, just to walk around cars for like an hour or so. And then, drag race in Vandermeer.
Okay.
And I haven't been to a drag race since 2008. And that was in Charlotte.
Okay.
Like that was the only drag strip over there. And it's like the NHRA, the Top Fuel, fun car stuff. Like me and my dad used to grow up, go there like all the time. And then went to camping in Sand Dunes National Park. And I'd never been camping. I always wanted to do it. Thought she'd done it like countless times.
Oh, really? Okay. She's outdoorsy?
Yes.
Okay.
She I guess every time she needed to clear her head, she'd just go by herself, just go somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she's a completely new type of person and relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you thinking this whole time? Like, in the back of your head?
In the back of my head, I was just telling myself, what are you doing? Every time, I open up my phone, I can see pictures, of my wife and my kids, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And then, every time I was with her, it seemed like I didn't think. It seemed like it was like a blinder that was in my face.
Oh.
And it just, every time I look back on it, I have pictures of my wife and kids and myself. And, every night, or every morning, every night, I just, talk to them, say, I have, this book I used to read for CC, and I remember that book, so I read that to them, every night. And, there's some scripture and stuff that I read to them, so I just try to think back, I wish this never happened. I wish that blinder wasn't on my head, wasn't in my eyes, that would have seen what was going on. I was having, everybody says, oh, you're just out there having fun while your kids, or kids and wife are on vacation. I'm just like, no, it wasn't like that, but it seemed like that's what it looks like when you're going, you're going to camping, going to drag race, going all this other stuff that you have fun doing, but you're with somebody else. It's not your family. It just didn't seem right. With her, it just didn't seem like I could see that anymore. I was there at her house pretty much every night. So it was I didn't have that time at home just to really think about anything. Because literally I didn't, I was only at home from when I got home from work. I worked out, I ate dinner, and then I went over to her house. I never slept in my house from the whole month of July.
Now, talk me through that though. When you said you went home and then you were at her house, was that while Chanel was gone? Oh, okay. So you weren't even at your house?
No.
This all happened so quickly, didn't it?
It was insane quickly. I didn't, she even told me, she would never, in a normal relationship, she would never have somebody over at her house, more than once or twice a week, but she felt like she wanted me over there.
Yeah.
She said she felt comfortable over there.
Yeah.
So it's just that's what was different, she wanted me over there. But I just wish that all that would just go away. I just wish I almost I know it's hard. I know it's wrong to say I wish I never met somebody, but I wish I, maybe met her at work and then just kept it that way.
I think if we had a time machine, I don't think this would happen again. Because some people, when this happens, you're like, well, if it wasn't this time, it would have been next time, or it would have been the next time. It just wouldn't have happened with you, would it? And it happened so quickly that, you tell me if I'm wrong, you're not the type of guy to take control sometimes when you need to. Yeah, it seems like that's just what happened.
Yeah, I didn't take control of the situation. It was the situation controlled me.
Right, it just happened. No, I get that, man. I'm somewhat passive myself, and it's there's situations where I'm like, well, why did I let that keep going?
Yeah, I don't know why. It was like a roller coaster ride that I just kept punching and taking on, and just never picked it up.
Yeah.
I know, when I was with Nikki, it was, different. I wasn't even, in the realm of, I'm a dad, I'm a husband type thing.
Oh.
And then, like I was saying, when I'm never at home, sleeping in my own bed, I have no, concept of that anymore.
Interesting. So in your mind and heart, you could moved on.
Like it kind of felt like if I wasn't at home, like I didn't think about it almost. Cause like if I wasn't sleeping on my own, like I think there was at one point, like Nikki had gone to the mountains with her friends for like a few days, like into June, first part of July. And then like, that part, obviously I was at home. But like from that whole month of July on, it was like, I was never at home. Like I never had all those reminders around me. I never had, like every time my wife would call me, I would be at Nikki's house.
Oh. While she was in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would walk outside and talk to her like when I was next to the car or something like that. And, I would never be at home looking like just have all these pictures around me, just being in the same bed, seeing my kids' beds, seeing everything that that we go for the last 6 years.
Are you bitten by the love bug?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it was just like I never felt that. I mean, even like with new relationships in the past, like it always feels different. Like the first couple weeks, and then but it just with someone Nikki felt different. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like you said, like I was more in control, and like it was more of like maybe more of me coming out. Oh,
right.
Nikki, I was myself like all the time. It was just different.
Well, and it seems as though, and again, hard to talk about, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it also seems, is it accurate to say that sexually you were able to say, Nikki, this is what I would like, this is what I'm into, or blah, 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 and maybe not with Shanann?
No, Nikki just wanted, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. I was just like, okay, that's fine with me.
Okay.
With Shanann, it was just like, hey. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It wasn't just like sex or whatnot. But it was me. I was just want myself. I didn't know what had happened to me. So Nikki even asked me, like, have you done this before? Have you go straight away? I'm like, I've never even thought about it. It's like, what's different? It's like, I guess it's just you that's different, because I've just never actually, like, I've seen girls smile at me before, never done anything about it. With her, it was just like, it's like she had a leash on me and she tugged me away. As soon as she walked, I'm like, what the heck, what's going on? This time it was just me and Shanann, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like, I don't forget what date it was, maybe like June 3rd or 5th or 7th, I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what date the video was, but I knew like I kind of met Nikki around like June 1st. I knew like she told me like afterwards.
When you say met her, you mean like went on a date with her?
No, I never went on a date with her until she was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean there was natural flirting back and forth, and I was just like, I knew that like with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was like felt guilty for even talking to my girl at work.
And so in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like she was going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like for Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that. Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I didn't love too soon. I would have thought there's just we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month, or just talking about 2 months. That would really. She called her house like her apartment like her. I don't know, like her kind of like a shield, or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but
her safe place.
Yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she's like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she would say, just should belong here type thing. Like, oh, okay.
Did you talk to Nikki afterwards? After all this happened?
On the 13th and the 14th.
What was that conversation like?
It was the 13th. It was kind of like, it was more text. and then maybe a phone call, like a phone call, and then she thought maybe Shanann like took off with the kids, like just because I was telling her I didn't know where they were and all that. And the 14th, she kind of like, I think she kind of thought something may have happened because they hadn't come back.
Why do you say that she might have thought that?
Or, she kept asking me like some weird questions. Like she kept asking like questions that only I would know, but she was testing to see if like it was actually me on the phone. Like,
what do you mean?
Like she would ask like, like what's my dog's name, or like what do I like, what yoga studio do I go to, or something like that. And just like, like I just answer like and then like another thing about I'm not sure if this is you. I'm just like, okay.
Is this through text or is this through calls?
Text.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't hearing your voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible she thought you'd been arrested and we were on the phone?
Either Shanann had my phone or somebody else had my phone, or like maybe maybe she thought it was.
Well, hopefully Shanann would know all the answers to those questions, right?
No. This is Nikki asking me.
Yeah, but if she's asking you your name of your dog and what yoga studio and like what.
So she maybe she thought maybe I was with Shanann. That she was just trying to find out who she was. But yeah, like some of the conversation like on the 14th got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh,
she was like she had told me like this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done. She told me to delete everything. And I didn't delete everything. I just okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete anything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
she told you to delete everything?
Delete all conversations.
Did she tell you why?
She said delete it. I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
There are quite a few people who would tell us and who do tell us you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there. I'm in the basement.
She was there. So the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. What would you say to those people?
She had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day, so I didn't like get up at like 4 o'clock and go home. And Shanann called me like 10 times in a row, and I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. And I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And like I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like I was like, I didn't have to work today. It's like you called me at like 5:30. It's like here's when I talk to you at 7:30. I'm like I was sleeping. She's like, she just like, screw you, like I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside. So I gotta go. And she was just like, okay, can you come back? I'm like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
First holiday I ever had off, and Shanann was pissed, and it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left. But I think that's when I called Nikki later, and she was like, she kind of realized that she'd always be like the second. She said second fiddle. Sure. Because that's how I would come back that day. Just, I don't want to be anywhere else when Shanann calls. She was already pissed. So it was stuff like that where she would go she said she would go on like websites and look at like, will a relationship work with somebody? Like, will a mistress work? Will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you
She
heard
told
that?
me that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
you know, in August, like
Okay.
first week of August, when I told her, like, you know, I had had that talk with her about separation,
Uh-huh.
that's when, like, she started looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there,
Oh, I see.
that's when she was looking up, like, you know, if will it actually work.
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made her decision.
Okay. And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or?
No, she never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
Wait, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, you know, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, you know, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook.
That's
How did she not see that?
I don't know. Maybe she did. She just was waiting for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head. Even Nikki asked me, like, you know, she said, I don't want you to leave your wife just because of me. I'm just like, what do you mean? She said, well, just if you met me, like, would you have known? I'm like, nope. So I never thought I would have strayed away from her at all. Like, I've never tried to follow anybody, you know?
Right.
Was Shanann checking your phone, or...
She always had my phone.
She was checking your phone? So how did you get past that?
I used my work phone.
To text? And you had some secret apps, right?
That was on my personal phone.
Were you using anything else to have contact with her?
And I just texted her with my work phone. When Shanann and the kids went to North Carolina, I used my personal phone. And she just told me, like, to put pictures in an app, and I just found that calculator. I just put, just searched on the app store, like, hidden pictures, and this calculator app first popped up.
How about your Facebook account? You deleted that at some point. When did you do that? And why?
I think it was, got back August 7th. Went to work. I think it was probably August 8th. That's when Nikki told me she told her friends about me. And I just figured, they probably looked me up on Facebook and see that I was pregnant. If Nikki knew probably already, but the reason why I did that.
Did you and Nikki ever fight?
We never fought, but like I said, I had to calm her down a bunch of times.
Yeah, you started to mention that when we were talking to you before about her getting upset about some video or something about being bipolar, or...
Well,
what are you talking about?
I think either my dad told me about that or John Walsh told me about, she made a couple videos, when she was just, talking to herself, saying that she was bipolar or something like that. But a lot of things, when she realized that, okay, she's the other person in the relationship, that, I'd always put my wife first over her, and that's what kind of made her take a step back a few times, and then, I had to kind of, calm her down.
Tell me about those times. What did that look like?
So the first one was probably around July 4th when I had to leave her house, because she wanted to kind of spend most of the day together before she went to a baseball game or something. And when I had to leave, it kind of just made her kind of take a step back and wonder what she was doing. And I just told her hey, just because of what's going, just because I had to leave doesn't mean you have to just take a step. I was comforting her at some point. I don't even know why I was doing it. Maybe I knew I was too far gone at that point. but it was.
Because this is Shannon's pissed. She's called you 10 times. You were sleeping. You
Yeah.
had your day off.
Yeah.
And then you go outside to talk to her on the phone and then tell Nikki that you need to go home just in case she calls back and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did she say to you, Nikki?
She was in the shower and she said, okay. And then that's like, when I talked about it, I calm her down. She's on the phone.
And was she like, we're breaking up, like, we're not gonna, I
No,
can't do this?
she said, like, she didn't want to, like, she didn't think it was safe or it was good for us to see each other anymore that day, like, the rest of that day, just because of all that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she asked me to come over, like, later on after she got back from her baseball game.
So you did that?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the second one like?
It was basically about the same thing. She was, you know, I didn't really know it at one point, but I guess she had set up a couple dates with like some eHarmony app or something, and they never showed up. And she'd already made plans with me, and you know.
Wait, what do you mean? She set up dates when she had plans with you?
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
I guess she kind of figured out they weren't going to show up. She went, I guess when she went to the baseball game, they never showed up, and there was another one and never showed up either. So
she's actively dating other people?
I didn't know it until like a couple weeks later.
And how'd you find out?
She told me.
What'd she say?
She it was one conversation where I actually kind of fell asleep on the couch, and then like she had told me like I'm not sure why she even told me about it, but it was very random, and she could tell that it kind of like took me back a little bit because I figured she would have told me that if she was actively still like looking around. I mean, she didn't have to tell me, but I figured she would.
Do you think she told you though so that it would hurry you up and
make a decision?
you're making a decision?
It might have been, but you know, she never had anybody that actually tried to like fix things as far as like, you know, hey, like I like where we're at as far as like the relationship goes, and actually like I did stuff for her around the house, around her little apartment, and like nobody's ever done that. She thought it was different.
Were you in love with him?
I think it could have gotten there had things played out like in a decent manner, but they're not because this is a horrible situation and I don't know where she's at, and it's really concerning me that this woman and her children cannot be located. It's not okay. It scares me. Like, I'm worried for all of them.
Yeah, and we are too, and obviously want to get to the bottom of this. And that's you know, some of the questions that I'm asking you that I'm going to ask are just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Understandable.
Yeah. And so when he told you that he was in love with you, was that recent? Was that right away? You know, was that like in July or?
It was probably like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. And did he talk about, you know, anything on top of it, saying, you know, I'm in love with you now, and that I want to have a life together, and that I don't want to be in my life? Anything that was like that?
I mean, like, yeah, we talk about the future. I think all couples do talk about the future, but it was never like, hey, I'm like leaving her, we're going to get a house together, you're moving in with me. It was never like this, like, very forward thing. And, you know, and I even told him, I was like, if we're going to build a relationship, one thing is that if you're getting a divorce, you've been married for a long time, I think it would be wise for you to spend a lot of time on your own. I was like, and I recently got out of a relationship earlier this year, and I think it's also healthy for me to spend time on my own. And I told him, I was like, you know, like, I respect, like, monogamy. I don't think it's a situation, but at the end of the day, it's like, you need space. And I would tell him that. It's like, you know, once you guys, all your paperwork's finalized and you guys have decided to separate and you're in your own spot with your kids, I was like, I think the days that you're with your kids, you need to be with them like full time. You know, I'm not ready to meet your children. He didn't even ask me to meet his children. I mean, not yet, you know, but I told him, I was like, in the future, eventually, if we get to that point where we think we're ready, yes, but I'm not ready to meet your kids. They're not ready to meet me. You're not ready to have me meet them. And I would just tell him, you know, like, I think we should take our time. Like, ideally, I would only like to hang out with you like 2 or 3 days a week. you know, on the days that you don't have your kids. And I was like, in the rest of those days, I was like, spend time with yourself, man. I was like, you've been in a relationship for a really long time. Like, just spend time, like, doing whatever it is that you do that makes you happy, you know? And really try to, like, take a responsible approach where he's living with somebody that he's separated from. Like, it's not my life. Like, that's their life, you know? And that's why I tell him, like, the time you spend with me, spend it in my house because this is our space, and that's not my space. And for me, I think it's really disrespectful to go over there. And so we stopped by there once, like on the way to my house, and I was there for maybe like 15 minutes, and I saw a picture of her holding her kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I remember thinking, like, gosh, your little girls are beautiful too. And we laughed, and I remember telling him after that, it was like, have you ever thought about, like, really trying to fix your marriage with her? And he's like, I don't really want to. And I was just like, man, like, you got a beautiful wife. It's like, she's the mother of 2 of your kids. And I'm just like, you already have all of this stuff. Like, you already have the house and the car and the kids and the marriage and the wife. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to fix that? I'm like, because what if you, like, try to start over with somebody else? And, like, what if, hypothetically, like, we didn't work out? Or you know what I'm saying? Or, like, just any of that, where it's like, you should at least give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, and he told me, like, I've tried to talk to her about all this stuff a few times, and it's just not working out. And I'm like, all right, you know, I mean, if you're trying to separate from her and it's pretty finalized, then I will respect that. But, I mean, just being in that house made me feel like he should just try to fix it. Like, I actually, like, kind of stepped away from him for a little while and just was kind of like, maybe, I don't know. I felt like I wasn't sure if I wanted to, like, carry on because I really wanted him to try to fix stuff. And then, you know, he just emphasized to me, like, there's no fixing it. So, all right. So we just picked up where we left off. But yes, so once time ago.
Okay. And that was in the middle of July.
Yeah, I think it was like the second weekend of July. I'm almost positive.
Was the relationship intimate by that time?
Yes.
It was. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I really tried to, like, handle that whole relationship in the most, like, decent manner that I could, I guess you could say. So after, like, finding out, like, oh yeah, and, like, I've also got this child on the way with her and just wasn't very honest with me, I told him, please give me time to heal and please give me time to process this. And he's like, are we done? And I told him, I said, no, we're not. Yes, we are. But he doesn't need to know that. I just told him that because I was just, like, trying to find a way to, like, distance myself from him without alerting him that I'm really uncomfortable with everything that's going on right now. You know, I told him numerous times yesterday that I was scared. And, you know, I told him that I was scared not because of, like, for, like, my own safety, but I told him, like, I'm scared because I don't know where she's at. I'm scared because, I'm scared for them. And then I told him, you know, the fact that you weren't honest with me, like, I don't feel like I know you as well as I did. And that, you know, that's uncomfortable for me too. Like, this whole situation is just, it's scary. It's not good. So, I just asked him if he could give me some space. And then I told him, I was like, when you find your family and they're all right, I was like, then you can go ahead and text me. I was like, but until then, like, I don't really think it's a good idea for me to talk to you. And that's as far as I've gotten. But I can tell you right now, if I were to text him and just say whatever I needed to say, he would do it. So I don't know. And I even asked him a few times yesterday. It was like, what happened? Like, where's your family? He's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just like, all right.
You're pretty serious. Did he ever tell you that he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever tell him the same?
A couple times.
Okay. Notwithstanding that today, because those thoughts may have changed for you, but on, let's go Sunday into Monday or Monday, did you still love him on those days?
I think it was something where it was like I said it a few times and I meant it, but he definitely felt the urge to say it to me a lot more than I did to him because it was just all very new to me. And it was like, take your time with this. Like, you don't need to to like rush that, you know? Like, I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was like trying to patch things up with his wife and he told me he loved me, and I was like, don't say that to me. Like, please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Like, just don't do that. And I was like, it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It's like, it just didn't sit right for me, you know? So I just feel like...
Almost like an insecurity where he had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he like... looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her. So saying, I love you, to me, seemed like probably something that he genuinely meant. Like, I love this woman. And regardless of where he was going to end up that night. But to me... in the way that I was perceiving things, he had told me that he was trying to fix things with her, so it's just like, this isn't an appropriate time, and I wasn't mad at him, and I'm pretty sure that's in the text too, where it was very, like, calm, but it's just like, it's almost disrespectful, where it's like, please don't. I'm like, you know, if we get to that point where it is you and me, like, yes, you can say that, but not then. Like, that's...
So you thought he was very genuine when he said that?
I did. I mean, and he wrote it, it's in all those cards I gave you. Not in all of them, but like the later ones.
And
thank you.
When you said it to him, you said you meant it when you said it.
Yes, I just didn't say it as frequently as he said it. Like, sometimes he would say it, and I was just like, for me, it was still like very, very new, so I kind of like took my time and only said it when I was just like, this is a really important moment. So
you, I mean, in the short period of time that you guys were together, he became very attached to you.
Yes, very, very
attached. He's sending cards,
flowers.
He's telling you he loves you. He sends you flowers. Does he buy you any other gifts?
Well, I wouldn't have wanted them anyways. Flowers is enough. You can't. I don't need expensive stuff.
Okay. But he becomes very attached.
Yes.
You guys are talking multiple times a day, at least. You're
all the time.
You're seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yep.
So it's a very... and his wife is not around, nor are his children, so there's a lot of time for you guys to build your relationship in this first four weeks or so. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even when she was back, I mean, it was still like we were still spending time together. He was still spending time with his children, and I had my own life. Like, I mean, there was 1 week where I just like went out of town with my friends for my birthday. I wasn't even around the whole like last few days of June up until the 3rd of July. I was like gone, you know. And then there was another like last weekend I had a friend impromptu come in town from out of state, and I hosted her for a few days. And it's like I still did my own thing all the time. Like, whether he was there or not, like, if my friends were like, hey, we want to make plans, I would tell him, like, we're not hanging out today because I want to go see my mom or my dad.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's like he's with 2 women right now. They don't need to know about
So
that.
if you had a boyfriend of 4 to 8 weeks on a regular... I don't know if you were married prior or if you had a boyfriend before, but if you had a steady boyfriend, you would have let people know. I think you told me before we got started that you just told your dad about Chris.
No, I wouldn't have told them. I wouldn't have told people. It's too early. I mean, people...
So you don't tell your friends, hey,
no, because people come and go. I mean, the dating scene these days is like, it sucks. I mean, so, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it would have to be something, even with Sean. I think I was with Sean for probably like 6 or 7 months before I brought him home to my family. I mean, the same with, that was the guy I was in a previous relationship with, but I mean... But
this one, you were a little bit more, you said he's with 2 women. Was that one of your considerations for not telling anybody about him?
Yes, well, I mean, it was like, okay, like this... To me, it wasn't going to be an extended thing. Like, if it got to the point where we were, like, dating for, like, 3 or 4 months and he's still talking about, oh, I'm going to move out and I'm going to sell the house, I think at that point I probably would have just been like, I don't think you're really, like, doing these things you say you're going to do. And I probably would have just, like, left because at that point, it's not fair. It wasn't fair to me in the first place. It wasn't fair to her in the first place. It wasn't fair to any of us in the first place. You know, it wasn't fair to his family for him to have an affair. It wasn't fair to me to have him lie to me and make me think that everything is going to plan. And still to this day, I don't even know what's a lie and what's not. I don't even know if they were like filing for divorce. I don't know if they were putting the house up. I don't even know.
Hi, thank you for watching. I think we can clearly see that there's some discrepancies in the way that Chris and NK both see the affair. Let me know what you thought, if anything stood out to you in the comments down below. Thank you so much to my subscribers for helping me reach 1,000, and I hope to see everyone soon.